Welcome to Real Swell. Let's talk about some movies. Like, comment, subscribe. Hope you enjoy the show. Just watched War of the Worlds, released on Amazon Video sometime last week. New Ice Cube movie. And it is almost incomprehensible how bad this movie is. I'm going to try to power through it, but it is not very good at all. So Ice Cube plays, I honestly have already forgotten his name. I know that his daughter's name is Faith. His wife, who has died, her name was Erica. Her daughter's boyfriend's name is Mark, but his name escapes me. I don't remember it. But he works for the Department of Homeland Security. He is a domestic threat assessor. He views the surveillance around the country through closed circuit TV. He's hacked cell phones. He's hacking drones, eyes and ears. He's got this workstation that allows him to see and hear everything. And he is able to, through some kind of program that the government has, assess the threat of each individual who is connected to the surveillance system. Now, it kind of feels like he should just work for the NSA, but it maybe I don't know how any of that works, or maybe the movie doesn't. Because sure, but also why not just work for the NSA? Well, he is on a shift and he is combing through all of the surveillance footage that he's got, looking through all the different cameras, listening in on different people's phone calls. It's kind of like the movie, not the movie, the video game Watchdog. I got a very Watchdog feel when I saw him doing all the things he was doing. It was very strange. But at any rate, he gets a call from someone at the NSA. Not not the NSA. He gets a call from someone from NASA, and it's someone who tracks weather anomalies. She calls him and says, "Hey, look at these storms." And she shows him video of lightning and other strange events happening with the weather, and asked him, a person who works at Department of Homeland Security, to figure out what these storm systems mean. If that sounds ridiculous, it's because it is. Why would she be calling him? And his response to her is, "I don't watch the weather, I just watch people." Yeah. So why are you calling him? And this is a joke throughout the movie, by the way. She's trying to get advice and guidance from him, someone who works at the Department of Homeland Security and the domestic threat assessment, to understand what's happening with the weather. It's very strange. Well, he holds different video call meetings with his boss and other people from other departments throughout the government, giving them breakdowns of what he's found, reports on the surveillance that he's doing. And through all of that, he gets interrupted by someone called the disruptor. Not interrupted, he's actually tracking this person because this person is threatening to Edward Snowden the entire thing. There's this massive security program that the government has created and is using, but without the knowledge of the American citizens. So he has found this person's IP address through a YouTube video that he has posted. And he is bringing in the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security to try to go and find this person because they've narrowed down their location. It turns out that once they get there, they realize, oh, he's routed his signal and his IP through some other avenue, and they go to an empty apartment. And it's weird because why is it that they don't know how to figure that out? Why is it that he found the IP address and said, "Yep, this guy is stupid enough to just be here at this location. Go get him." There was no reservation about whether or not that was a spoofed IP address. But anyway, the movie continues. As they are trying to raid this empty apartment, asteroids start hitting Earth. And then his friend from, or coworker, or acquaintance, colleague, she calls back from NASA and says, "Hey, remember those storms I was telling you about? Well, they're asteroids now, and they're hidden all over the planet. What's going on?" And he says again, "I don't know. I just watch people." But she's on video call with him, and she's walking up to one of these things, and she says something very strange. They're asteroids destroying different cities around the world, and more importantly, around the country. And she says, "Wow." Not wow as in, "Oh my God, this thing is huge and it's just destroyed these buildings. There are probably a lot of people hurt." She says, "Wow," in astonishment and says, "It's huge. It's probably 20 or 30 feet," as if it's a scientific discovery that she's about to go embark on and discover something that we've never seen before. Two things can be true, that and the devastation it just caused. But also, she says, it's 20 or 30 feet. I don't know if I've heard or seen scientists speak in anything other than meters. Why did she say feet? But I'm not a scientist. Any of you scientists out there, let me know if when you're doing research and you're compiling your notes and you're taking measurements, do you use feet and inches or meters, centimeters, kilometers? That's what I thought was generally accepted throughout scientific measurement. But again, I don't know. But it was weird to hear the scientists say feet. So she walks up to this thing and it grows legs and gets up and starts walking away because it's some alien that has come to Earth. We don't know yet why, but it walks away and it heads for different major cities and just starts wreaking havoc on buildings. Throughout all of this, our main character, Ice Cube, his daughter is pregnant and she is trying to just live her life basically, but her dad is spying on her every chance he gets with every piece of technology that he has at his fingertips. He hacks into her phone, hacks into her refrigerator, and he's concerned about the child. He's like, "You're not eating right, your stress is too high, your boyfriend is awful." He doesn't like Mark, his daughter's boyfriend and father of her child. And she is essentially indignant, saying, "Hey, get out of my business. I'm an adult. I'm about to have a baby. Can you calm down with all this hacking nonsense? Because it's a little overboard." And of course, they just play it as the concerned father. And then we, at the end of the movie, get some kind of closed loop as to the lesson that he learns from being that intrusive in his daughter's life. Well, these asteroids start hitting, and these robot aliens, they start destroying buildings. And she is inside her lab because she is a scientist herself. She's a biochemist, I believe, and she's working. Well, she decides throughout all the disaster that's happening to walk outside, not necessarily to see what's happening, but just to go somewhere else. She leaves. And one of these alien robot, they're called tripods. They actually look like tripods, so that's the most creative thing they could come up with. They are tripods. And they're, I don't know, 100 feet tall. Well, it comes at her, not necessarily at her, but in her direction. And the only thing that she can do is point her camera to it while she's on the phone with her dad and said, "Hey, I think I'm about to be in trouble." And her dad says, "Yeah, you might want to run, not back inside, but just run away from this thing." Well, it's 100 feet tall. The stride is more than that. So wherever she runs, it's not going to be quicker than wherever this thing can get her or get to. So it destroys a bunch of stuff, and we see rubble and dust and debris falling all around her. The phone falls and it stays connected somehow. It doesn't break or lose signal or anything like that. It just falls to the ground. And there's this 45-second period where we're kind of like, what's happened to her? Because the phone's just on the ground. We don't hear her. We don't see her. We don't see anyone else. It's just the sky, essentially. And the phone is covered with some dirt. Well, her dad has a heart monitor that he also can hack into. And he sees that she's at least still alive. So he's just screaming, "Hey, are you there? Are you there? Are you there?" She finally picks the phone back up, and there's no scratch on her at all, except she's been pierced through her leg with a piece of rebar, and it's bleeding profusely. She's in trouble. Well, he hacks a Tesla that's like 4 feet away. He says, "Hey, get in this car. I'm going to auto drive it to the nearest hospital." So he does that. She gets in the car, and they have this discussion about privacy, about her being an adult, and about parents and children, the relationship that's complicated. We then cut to NASA again. She is looking through one of the buildings that one of these creatures has destroyed, and she's trying to figure out what they are here for, why they're attacking all of these places. And Ice Cube says, "Hey, what's that on the ground?" And it very obviously looks like a data cable. And these two, presumably intelligent people, can't tell that it's a data cable. They also don't even guess that it might be a tentacle, it might be some kind of cord. They just look at it and go, "What is this thing? Let's follow it and see where it goes." So this NASA scientist, without any backup, walks into this building where one of these creatures has its data cable snaked through the building. She goes in and gets to the server room and begins to be bitten or crawled upon by these termite looking things, these insect looking things, and it cuts away. She falls to the ground, by the way, and is writhing in pain, saying, "They're all over me," and it cuts away. It cuts away to Ice Cube's son. He is trying to explain to his dad that this government, our government, has this program called Goliath that it's using to track everyone and listen in on everyone and collect everyone's data without our permission and our knowledge. And his dad says, "I don't have time for this. But you see these aliens attacking? We've got other stuff to worry about. Why are you bothering me with this intel that may or may not even be true?" Now, if you remember the disruptor from a few minutes ago, the hacker that's trying to expose Goliath to the public, they're kind of saying the same things, right? Well, it's because his son is the disruptor. Yeah, his son, the one who's trying to expose this government intel, the one who's hacked into the United States government's data servers to find this program and this information and is holding it hostage, is the son of someone who works for the Department of Homeland Security. That's the story they're telling us. Fine. But what isn't fine is that his dad doesn't put those dots together either. Wh- How is it that simultaneously you're looking for this disruptor and your son tells you literally, "Hey, I'm the disruptor. I know what's going on." And then you say, "Nope, don't want to hear it. I've got aliens to fight." Because that's really what his plan is, to figure out how to stop these aliens. Through all of his research, he does some more sleuthing through surveillance and cameras and phones and his friend at NASA. He learns that these aliens are here because they feed on data. This alien race has come to Earth because it feeds on data. Where did these aliens come from? And where is it, wherever they are, did they evolve into sustaining off of data? Do they have data wherever they are in their corner of the universe, the galaxy? How did they know that this planet had data? Are they jumping from planet to planet looking for data? It's very confusing. It gets more confusing when we learn that these aliens have been here before. They were here in 1948 because that's when the country decided to begin collecting data just in general. And the aliens showed up then. So, twice in the Earth's history, or recorded history, these aliens have shown up because they wanted to feed off of the data that we've been collecting. For how long have these aliens existed without needing data? Or is the movie saying there are other worlds out there that do have intelligent life capable of collecting data that these aliens can feed off of? Is that what the movie is saying? Am I thinking about it too much? That's also could be possible. But at any rate, these aliens were here. We know why they were here, and it was 80 years ago. Well, the director of the Department of Homeland Security, he says, that's fine. We have the ability now to predict people's behavior based on the data we collect from them. It's going to be an amazing tool for our government. So he turns on Goliath. Goliath is a real thing. And he says the threat of these aliens isn't so bad that Goliath isn't more useful. He turns on this program that he knows is going to bring aliens to Earth, kill everyone, so that he can have the ability to collect everyone's data. Is that the story they're trying to tell? Because that's what it sounds like. It sounds like his motivations don't make any sense. But that was the plan. So, Ice Cube finally decides, oh, let's listen to my son, the disruptor, and figure out what he knows. And he knows everything that the movie has already just told us. So his son calls up his hacker friends and says, listen, we need to write this piece of code that is essentially a virus so that we can upload it to all of the servers that all these aliens are feeding off of and poison them, essentially, with bad data. And it's referred to as a rabbit virus. Now, I'm sorry, it's also called rabbitvirus.exe. Cool. So they upload this virus and it begins to work for a moment until the aliens begin to hack the virus and then reverse hack and find the IP addresses of all of the different hackers and then go to their houses and murder them. Yep, these aliens were able to decipher and decrypt this virus and then track it to all these people's houses. It's very strange that the code for this virus is embedded with the IP addresses of the people who wrote it, and not even all of them wrote the virus. I maybe I wasn't paying attention during that part because help me understand how that happens. How does that work? I don't know. So they need a plan B. And plan B is to write a piece of code, kind of like a virus, that can be uploaded to all the different data centers that these aliens are feeding off of and essentially poison them. Did I just say that? So there was a rabbit virus, and now that this one's called cannibal virus that shuts down the aliens when they try to feed off of that data. So they just had the same plan, except this time it's called something else. So the aliens don't know what to do with it. It's not called rabbit virus. So it works this time. But it works in such a way that you have to plug in that virus directly into the data center of Goliath's server. So that's where Ice Cube goes. They find out where Goliath's server is, and he plugs in the virus, and the screen cuts to black as if he dies. Of course, he doesn't die because no one dies in this movie. No one important, I guess. The hackers, they were important for the 3 minutes they were on screen, but everyone else who died, they were faceless, is what I mean by unimportant. We didn't know who they were. They just were collateral damage because these aliens were here. Now, at the end of the movie, because the movie's an hour and 30 minutes, I've essentially run through every plot point that there is. The head of the Department of Homeland Security, he gets arrested, of course, because Ice Cube leaks all this information. He does, in fact, tell everybody that, the government or this person has this Goliath program, has been using it, it's unethical, and our privacy has been violated. So he gets arrested, and he is now, Ice Cube, off living his life somewhere else. Someone calls him, someone at the FBI, somebody calls him and says, "Hey, we want you to be the spearhead of our new data collection program." And Ice Cube says, "No, I'm done watching people. I'm now just going to watch you, the government." And it's supposed to be some funny callback. It was awful. And we get then pictures of him at his daughter's baby shower because throughout the movie, there was this big thing about him not being invited. And Mark, Faith's boyfriend, accidentally telling him that there's going to be one. So he finally reunites with his family. They have these loving pictures. And the movie ends with the message is the prompt where it says, "This program wants access to your data. Do you agree to this privacy notice?" or whatever the case may be. And you can accept or deny. He clicks deny, and the movie's over. And the way that the movie was shot also made this movie very difficult to watch. It was edited as if each scene was shot on a different piece of equipment and then chopped up and then through a PowerPoint presentation was sliced together. The transitions were they were awful. They were like I don't know how to explain it, but I couldn't keep track of where they wanted my eyes to go because everything was sliding around the screen. And there were moments where it made you feel as though you weren't going to be viewing this through a computer screen or a phone screen anymore. And it would zoom in and it would zoom out. But no, you're always looking at this movie through the lens of something. And it was awful. It was so bad. That was probably the worst part of the movie was how it was edited and how it was shot. Now, it's all bad. It's all terrible. But as I was trying to comprehend the terrible plot, I was distracted by how poorly the movie was shot. The cinematography and the direction, it was just so bad. And the script was just so bad. It's almost as if they skipped basic character development, basic plot lines, and said, we've got an hour and 30 minutes. Let's put some aliens on the screen. Let's talk about data because that's the hot thing right now. And everyone's going to love it. Why did they make this movie? Who is this for? Who wants to rewatch this movie? Not even to watch it, to laugh at it. Not even it's so bad it's good. I don't want to watch this movie ever again. It it's really bad. It's really bad. And I haven't read any interviews or articles or listened to any interviews from the creators of the film, from any of the actors, how they feel about the movie and what the purpose they felt the movie was going to serve. And I don't think I will either because I'm just not interested. I'm not interested in ever thinking about this movie again. I will also say I haven't seen the original one. I haven't read the book, nor have I seen the one with Tom Cruise. So maybe there are some similarities between the source material and the other productions or projects revolving around this movie, but I would have to assume that they're all much, 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 much better than what we got from Ice Cube and team. Man, this movie is bad. Don't watch it. Even if you have Amazon Prime, even if you get to watch it for free. Well, free. Don't, because it's a waste of an hour and a half. Actually, it's a waste of an hour and 40 minutes because I have Amazon Video with ads. So I had like 3 ad breaks and they were each 3 minutes long. It was kind of dumb. Just as dumb as the movie. Don't watch it. Thank you for coming to this screening of Real Swell. I hope you enjoyed. As you head out, I've got 3 things to ask of you. Number 1, pick up your trash. At least ushers don't get paid enough. Number 2, make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss the next screening. And number 3, hit that like button. I'll see you all next time. Make sure you've got your ticket.